Let me just text my brother though. He's out playing Munchkin with his friends.
Like college mates, high school mates.
Yep. What did I tell you that last week I was having, or there was a game night with some of my high school friends,
Yeah.
and my brother and some of his high school friends ended up in the same place.
Also, now there's a board game place in Cebu.
No, a friend's house.
Oh, really? How did that happen?
Because we're all friends, right? But we're not. Yeah, because we're all like. I went to a really small. I went to a really small school.
Yeah,
We both went
that's what I was
to a
about to
really
say.
small
Like, I think the social circle in Cebu is way smaller than the social circle in Manila.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we all ended up at a friend's house, and we played Avalon, and it was so cool
Because there's a lot of people, like 12 people playing.
No, there were 9 of us, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and the minions or the spies were me, Kenji, and my little brother.
Oh my god.
That was so cool.
That's tough. That is tough. Like, I don't need to be there to know how tough that would be.
Yeah. But then like it was my brother's second time to play, and it was Kenji's like second time to be a spy. So like their inexperience kind of showed. Like I was trying I was trying to use all the pro moves and stuff, but like they weren't picking up on it. So
We don't know the tells yet.
yeah, like having to use like having the first round where you have two.
Make sure,
two or three
make sure
spies.
make sure the first round is passed.
Things like that.
Yeah, like 2 spies in that, but make sure it is yes.
Yeah, I was going for I was actually going for the pro move that I was actually going for the move that that like there
You
was
pick off what?
no there was going to be one no out of the 2 because there were 2 spies in the team and I wanted to have one.
Only one of them say yes,
Yeah.
so that the one would be trusted as not a spy, even though he is
Yeah.
double agent.
Yep. That was that didn't work.
Amateur hour right here.
But I don't know. It was
But should have been though. That's fun. That's the point, because they're new to the game. They don't know many of the dynamics yet.
yeah, so it was like, okay. Oops.
Yeah, like backfired. It's okay.
So it was I love that game. And like and having the special characters is well, it adds a lot to the game. Having the Merlin character, having the assassin, having Mordred, having.
But for me, I think that's too complicated.
But once you get the hang of it,
Yeah,
it becomes a totally different game. Oh my god.
yeah. I've always like I played that before, but I guess the thing about Avalon, it's just I don't think there's something wrong with it. I'm the one that's wrong in it, because I'm not good at lying. And what I don't like about the dynamic is I don't have a choice if I want to lie or not. Like if you're the spies, quote unquote, the assassins, you really have to lie. You have no choice. There's no flexibility in playing the game.
And I've seen what was it? There was one really pro move that I saw from Ian, of all people. He was a spy, and he threw another spy under the bus to throw everybody else off.
Yeah, that he isn't a spy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried that pro move as well, where I said, I'm a spy, this guy is a spy. Even though the person I pointed out isn't.
That's pretty cool. I should try that next time.
Now they thought I wasn't a spy, I'm just playing for fun.
That's
like ready, go. 'Cause it's always a silence and everybody's gonna look, right? I just said, oh, yeah, I'm a spy and this guy isn't. But don't pull that out in the first game. Make sure you're the fun player who really just makes. That should be your meta game. You build up. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just having fun. Oh, da 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 da.
Yeah.
And then one of the few games just drop that bombshell. I'm a spy. He's also a spy. Or just, like, I'm a spy. That's all I'm gonna say to all of you right now. And then, pasok natin sa election. Then everybody was like, let's go for the voting. And you're gonna be like, are you sure? Do you guys want to win? Put in so much doubt. Anyway.
I should try that.
Yeah. Telestrations is still probably the best board game ever made. But
Yeah.
yeah, for me, my two favorites, Telestrations and Chinatown.
Oh, Telestrations. I'm never gonna forget. I can never forget Seema's flask. Right. The word is flask, and Seema draws the state of Florida and a person asking a question.
For me, I think the things I like in video games is when you could play it several ways. You could
Yeah.
play Telestrations an infinite number of ways. You could be the best artist you can ever be. You could screw people intentionally, screw them. You could, like what I do most of the time is just the first thing that pop into your head, draw it. Like, don't even think about it. Just draw it with the first thing that pops into your head.
Although going back to going back to how a game can be limiting.
Yeah.
If we actually play Telestrations with the scoring system in place, I have this feeling that will limit the number of ways that you can play the game.
Yeah, for me, it's not going to be fun anymore. I don't like the fact that there's a scoring system. For me, it should be, just who is like, that's funny. All right, next time. That's why I always like Telestrations as a rest game.
Yeah.
Because as much as I love Dead of Winter and all of that, those types of games, they're just too heavy.
Yeah.
And they tend to be intimidating to somebody who's new.
And Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. Still love that game.
Yeah, like that it looks like an intimidating game, but once you get the hang of it, and the thing about board game cafes where we play is there's really no time, or you don't want to waste 30 minutes, 45 minutes explaining the rules or going through a run through of the rules. You really just want to play.
Yeah.
So that's why I've been telling like the boys, do you guys want to invest in our own games?
Yes.
Chinatown is pretty much like that one was unanimous. Everybody wanted Chinatown. I want to try at least one of the Game of Thrones games.
That game is complicated.
No, not the Game of Thrones actual board game. Like, I know there's if I'm not mistaken, Game of Thrones that's Clue and Game of Thrones card game, where I think it's more Avalon than.
Oh, okay. Dead of Winter.
Because the Game of Thrones board game is insane, and then the Civilization board game, Jesus Christ! That like John was telling me, it took them 5 days and they're still not done. I was like, Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
I don't want games like that. Those are too much.
I still maintain that. Go ahead.
Yeah, like Betrayal in the House on Haunted Hill. Depending on your scenario, it becomes heavy, but sometimes it isn't.
Yeah, I still maintain that Dixit is
it's very light.
Best games ever made. Not only it being light, because it can be like extremely competitive.
Oh yeah, when people want to compete.
The reason I love it so much is because it doesn't matter who you are, what language you speak, you can play that game.
Because you're dealing with images or paintings.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the reason I love that game so much, because it is one of those rare games that doesn't rely on language, or doesn't rely on written language, and it's just so refreshing.
Yeah, it doesn't give a lot of, for me, it doesn't give a lot of super, like, insane moments of laughter that we get either playing Chinatown or Telestrations. But what I do appreciate about it is the fact that it's more of a test of wits than having so much humor.
Yeah.
Interesting. It tells a lot about um it tells a lot about, like, what do you call this? The personality of the person. The personality.
Some like say something that I want to do with Dixit is play it with the boys and uh
Only
and
concentrating on specific genre.
no. Basically, I want to play it with the boys and my girlfriend's group in one table. Well, I guess the idea is I want to have two separate groups playing Dixit together, just
Just
to
to
see
see.
what the dynamic is like, because because everybody from one group is going to sort of have their own inside jokes with the game and their own language with it, and another group is going to have that same sort of shared language with the cards. And what's interesting is to see how they can cross over,
Yeah.
like to see what the, as you like to put it, the social interaction would be like there.
Yeah. Uh, Try and see. That's what I'm gonna say. Is one. I was already discussing this with Norm, actually. Hardest thing with the boys these days is actually just getting people together.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
getting everyone together. That's already like the challenging part. Just organizing that get together.
Hmm.
So, I don't know. I don't know that's gonna happen.
Yeah. Do like apart from each other, like who are the other common friends that everybody has that play board? Apart from the boys, do you have another tabletop group?
Nope.
Okay.
But the owners of said board game plays are like, oh, every Thursday is like community night. Like, just show up and play board games with other people that you don't know. Or is it Thursday or Tuesday? I think either one of those days. They're like, if you want to have other people to play board games with, it's community night.
Yeah.
They have that, but like, I'm pretty sure I could pull other people to play board games with. It's just that schedules. It's so hard to being an adult. Like for this Saturday, I have to be at two places.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing, right? Like it's I don't know. It's like in Manila, I have you guys, and then uh, the my girlfriend's college friends, and the folks at my girlfriend's office.
Yeah,
All that's like it's like three groups,
you
right?
have
So I
you
can
have
get
multiple
you,
board game. Yeah,
so I can get you and Norm. Then I can get like a couple of people from that group, a couple from this group, and haha, we have 8 players. Um,
yeah,
so if, like, say Norm or whatever has another group of tabletop friends, then you can bring that group. You can bring some of them and some of us. Yeah, sort of like what we did with my high school friends and my brother's high school friends.
for me,
We didn't have enough players, so like the two groups just sort of merged that night.
because for me, I don't have not high school. Yeah, I pretty much don't have high school
Mm.
friends that much anymore, and so yeah, I don't have an office. I don't have office friends.
You should bring like photography people.
Thing about photography people is they'd rather just shoot.
Yeah.
Like they'd rather just walk and shoot.
And problem with
Yeah.
artists.
Why do you think I don't see myself as an artist anymore? Like that's why I write a lot. I experience a lot of things and write about them. I've always said I'm going to be better as a critic anyway.
Yeah, I've never really understood the artist that does nothing but their art.
Yeah. I also don't get it too. Because where do you get other things?
Yeah, it becomes like this circle of self gratification if you don't bring other life experiences into the art, which is supposed to be an expression of you. You
Yeah,
just end up expressing the same thing.
like the what do you call this? The recent status message that I have, a weird realization, if you will, that photography is the constant struggle between living an interesting life and taking a picture of it.
Yeah.
So, which is pretty
So,
much the case. Because thing about pictures is, of course, you draw from the actual world. You can make a fiction out of it, but it's still based on the actual world, based on your experiences and what's in front of you. And more often than not, if you don't have an interesting life, you don't have interesting pictures.
yeah. And I think photography more so than other arts,
Yeah,
right? Because like I guess I can understand the composer that
isolated
that
in one room.
yeah,
Or
because you
that's
really
why
aren't.
painters always have a studio.
Yeah, but then say with painters, they still have to experience the world in order to represent that experience,
Ah, yeah, indeed.
right? Like with a composer, I can understand the person that just sits in front of a piano and sort of just groups themselves in because you really aren't drawing very much from the natural world, you know?
Hmm.
Like you don't need to have an understanding of what a tree looks like in order for you to be a composer. So I guess in that sense I can kind of understand, but say if you're a painter, a photographer, a writer,
Yeah. Oh, low battery. But yeah, writers. Oh, more so. Actually, if with images, more so than writers. At least an image, you don't have to describe anything. For writers, you
yeah,
have to take into account. You have to account for those things that you have experienced and you've seen.
yeah. Well, and both when it comes, well, I'm talking about art as like fiction. Like when it comes,
Yeah.
writing in terms of fiction, um, fiction writers need to experience life in order to simulate it on the page, I guess. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, you know, I don't get that either. Like writers that coop themselves up and don't really do anything.
No, and to be honest, like when did my pictures actually became good? When I photographed the most interesting thing in my life at that time. Instead of, oh, I'm gonna go to the mountains. Literally, I went to the mountains and photographed.
Yeah. Mountains. We're
I
back
don't
to the
even like
mountains.
yeah, I don't even like mountains. That's the thing. Like I like mountains if I don't have to climb it.
Oh.
The thing about mountains is you have to climb it. The nicest thing about beaches, just go there. It's already the beach.
Yeah. I just went 45 minutes away from anywhere in this city, so
Yeah.
whatever.
That's the nice thing about Cebu's geography anyway, Jesus Christ. Which is the
Although
reason I think it wasn't the that's why I think the Spaniards move away from it as a capital.
it was too chill.
Yeah, because you want to sow dissent, right?
I never really thought about that. I should probably like look into that at one point.
Why did they choose Manila instead of Cebu as the capital of the city of the country?
Yeah, how they ended up in Manila.
Yeah, it was Lorenzo or Miguel Lopez de Legazpi or something. Lorenzo was either the two who chose Manila as the capital. I'm not sure what their reasons was, but
Probably.
I'm pretty sure it's not BS that because Manila is near what do you call this? Oh, because Manila is has a river in it. Like, so like Cebu is Cebu has all the islands connected near it. So my theory is that it would sow dissent.
Could be the accessibility of the port.
I think Cebu is easier as a port.
You have to deal with Negros and
Ah,
Bohol.
not unlike Manila, where you just boop boop, and then the ultimate aim was always Singapore and Hong Kong, right?
Uh,
Have the galleon trade and easy access to
India. Wait,
Malacca.
let me look at the
Hey,
geography
Malacca.
of the Philippines. Come on, Google Maps. Where is the port in Manila? It's on the left side.
Yeah, it's on the left side. So you pretty much have to go all the way.
Yeah, it's like with Cebu. Um, in order to get to the port, you have to go through Samar and Bohol. So if you're looking at the port, like Cebu is pretty.
So yeah, I guess they really moved Cebu for economic reasons. What a downer. I wish there was like a better reason.
And Manila has Manila sort of has natural protection from Manila Bay.
It's easier to defend.
Hmm.
Which is why, like, what the Japanese did during the war was just bomb the living hell out of Manila and then let's walk right through it.
And I guess the largest contiguous landmass in the country, Luzon.
Yeah.
Like Cebu, geographically, Cebu is horrible. I'm telling you. Like it's this big mountain, this big group of mountains like that cut right down the center of the island. So there isn't very much buildable space to begin with.
Yeah.
It's a limestone island.
Like, the only time, like, it's only in the modern time that man was able to wield machine to do his bidding and thus able to develop Cebu in such a manner.
Yep.
And even up to now, Cebu is still being developed.
Yeah. We don't have very much deep water in terms of ports here. Yeah, it's gradual. There isn't like a big drop by the shoreline.
Already have floated. So,
All right. Time for bed.
Cheers.
Night, say.
Good night.